Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I am working right now. I'm outside, so excuse the background and the noise and the maybe echoey sound. We're doing something a little different today. I do want to come back a little bit later with another stream, maybe even within the next 45 minutes or 30 minutes after I end this one. If not, I will be catching you guys later on in this afternoon. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Okay. So this is my kind of ranty response to May, and the interview that Dr. Green Gorilla did with May. So first, we're going to address a few things. Look, May is disingenuous. Oh, wait a minute, Z, did you really say that? Like we already assumed it, but yeah, yeah. Let's just go through a few things. First, Mr. Z been called in. May is an elitist a-hole. She's an elitist. She is an elitist, and this is why I'm very careful with respectability politics. I keep on telling you, brothers, I'm very careful because we're gonna slowly, believe it or not, we're gonna slowly walk into anti-blackness, and then we're gonna slowly walk into Auschwitz. Y'all keep on thinking Mr. Z is being hyperbolic about this. Mr. Z is not being hyperbolic about this. You let these people talk long enough, and you will respect and enjoy their perspective because they're elitist a-holes, and a lot of black people want to be elitist a-holes also. And then they slowly start telling you what we should do with the poor black people and what we should do with Pookie and Keisha, right? And you're like, yeah, 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 I agree, I agree. And then we slowly start creeping into some anti-blackness, but a bunch of you ignore it because you're in agreement with those people, fine. And then we slowly end up in Auschwitz. Okay, I might have went out. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, okay. My apologies, everyone. My apologies. I didn't realize that we went out, so I don't know where I got to return to. So let me say the last part again. We are on the road. When you listen to people like they speak, understand that you are on the road. That doesn't mean that you will get to the final destination, pun intended, but we are on the road, right, to Auschwitz. That does not mean that you will get to that final destination, but it does mean that you're on the road to that final destination. That elitist attitude will let you walk right past anti-blackness, smiling smiling and agreeing, and then end up in a concentration camp, and then wonder how you got there. Right? That's number one. Number two, as I was saying earlier, May is DeSantis, right? Lie to the black children about their history so they don't feel like victims, right? Where did I get that from? You listen to May speak long enough. She don't want black men to talk about their issues with black women, and she does the both and thing for everything. When most of this is not both and. Let's be very clear. This is not both and. So let me pause on what I was saying about May being DeSantis, and let's continue with the both and conversation. When we get into the conversation about materialism, right? Green Gorilla and May got into the conversation about materialism, and May tried to pull a both and. Well, all these shows like Cribs and whatnot, and The Fabulous Life, it got men and women both living beyond their means. Okay, yes, but based on all the data we know, women are the ones that are further in credit card debt. Women are the ones that are further in student loan debt. Women have lower credit scores, and that's white and black women, right? Women are far more materialistic, and thank God I have this and I have it on record. Even the advertisers said they targeted girls. Oops. They targeted the girls more than the boys. They sold the lifestyle to girls more than the boys. Those girls are now women. Those boys are now men. It's not the men that are so delusional. And she really tried to equalize these things. Well, y'all are Kevin Simmons, y'all are delusional, and y'all looking for women with pretty faces and long natural hair. I guess and what she's really saying is, I guess that's the equivalent of women looking for six-figure and millionaire men. Isn't that the same? No, it's not the same. First, as the brother from 85, the 85 South Show, I think it's called, right? Said what, like Carlos said, right? Men see what's here. We drool over the women that's here. We don't have some imaginary woman in our mind that don't even exist. Women have an imaginary man in their mind that does not exist. With the looks of the dream man in their mind, with the characteristics of no man on planet Earth, and God-like penis. That's not a real thing. And then they're disappointed when they don't meet that guy. And they hold every man to that delusional standard. It's not the same, May. She's trying to make it seem like it's some type of equivalent thing. It's not. Nor will it ever be. May is an elitist a-hole. Don't let the way she's speaking fool you. May is an elitist a-hole. And shout out to her husband. This is no disrespect to you, but your wife is an elitist. And that's okay if she's willing to suffer the consequences of that. And there's a whole lot of black people that think they're doing well in life and that have these weirdo views. And when you let them talk long enough, they start talking real anti-black. And if you, once again, you let May talk long enough and you see how she sounded. Yeah, she sounded like she want to look out for black people, like 20% of black people. Everybody else could die for all she care. And the math don't math. That's why I said it again, I'm very careful with respectability politics because I know where it leads us. You let Negroes talk long enough and they start sounding real anti-black off of some elitist thing, right? So y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. But as you can hear, for those of you that checked out the conversation Dr. Green Gorilla had with May, you can hear how that sounded. Right? Low key, May is willing to commit low key genocide. I'm just saying. I'm BGS said, "Do you sleep?" No, not really. BGS is pretty unhealthy, actually. It's pretty damn unhealthy. Oh man, you're not the only one that's asking me about that, and low key word, right? But yeah, no, I think I'm gonna sound hyperbolic when I say this, but these people are low key genocidal. I don't think y'all think they are. And like I said, I make space knowing I sound a bit hyperbolic saying that, but these people are kind of genocidal, right? And you can hear it in May when the way she speaks about the less of us, right? The least of us, better yet. And there's other people that are not Black Manosphere. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I ain't gonna say his name. Sometimes he get right up on that. He's not Black Manosphere, but he critiques the Black Manosphere harshly, and he swear that Kevin Samuel stole everything from him. But every once in a while, you let him talk long enough and hard enough, and he'll start sounding like that too. There's a whole lot of Black people, you let them talk long enough, and we're going to end up in Auschwitz. Because they're that frustrated at other Negroes that they low-key wish that they could push all you Negroes that they think are a waste of time and energy. They wish they could push you off the edge of the earth. And you let them talk long enough, and we end up in Dachau. Right? And and what's always fascinating is these are supposed to be the supposed pro-Blacks and the people that care about the Black community and that care about other Black people, and you let them talk long enough. You let them talk long enough, and it gets real ugly. Right? Who needs white supremacists when you got some of these supposed Black people that care about other Black people? Right? You'd be the ones that be claiming that they advocating for you. That low key, if you're not doing the things they want the way they want, right? Think that you should be pushed off the edge of a cliff. Right? Another thing I want to address, the personal is political, right? And yes, we are biased. And so what? May keeps on doing the both and thing, and much of this isn't both and. It's not. Let's be very clear, May. Women, particularly Black women in the Black community, have had the dominant say for the past half century, a bit over the past half century, actually. And y'all is just getting a taste of Black men's response, and y'all don't know how to respond to Black men's response. And I want to be very clear. When the mainstream media, because of its monopolization of the airwaves, when mainstream media gave y'all the microphone, let me say it again. When mainstream white media gave Black women the microphone, all Black women could say is how messed up Black men are. Now that the internet, Mr. Z likes to call it the interwebs, right? Shout out to George W. Bush. Now that the interwebs have democratized the town square, women are getting a response. They're getting all type of responses. They're getting well thought out responses. They're getting calm, calculated responses. And they're getting cursed out. And they're getting insulted. And they get made fun of. And so what? Men have watched as women, Black men have watched as Black women went on every single form of media they possibly can, and insulted and belittled Black men for the world to see. We have watched that. The world has watched it. And y'all can't deal with men's response over the internet, Black men's response over the internet over the past decade, give or so? Give or take a decade? And by the way, still not on the level of Black women, because we still don't have complete a monopoly on the narrative mainstream, as women, Black women in particular, have over the past couple decades. We will not be tone policed, right? We will not be tone policed. And that is what it sounds like you're trying to do over here, May. Tone police Black men and tell Black men to keep your head down and just be Ultraman. Like somebody said, John Henry yourself into the hearts and the minds of Black women. May speaks about this patriarchy thing like it exists in a vacuum. Like you don't need the institutions. And when she's confronted with the fact that the institutions at best have atrophied, let's be honest, they've been destroyed. She resigns herself to pretty much saying, yeah, just leave the rest of the 80%, just leave them alone. May, the elites agree with you. That's half the reason why we're in the position we're in. Oops. May, you're not saying anything special or new. The elites agree with you. That's why we're in the situation we're in, May. Because the institutions only really work for the top 1% and its functionaries. If you get super duper lucky and you find yourself in that position, then that's great for you. But everybody else kick rocks. That's half the reason we're in the position we're in. Maybe you missed a part of Gigi speaking about the financialization of the economy. Because y'all notice she ain't want no history lesson. Every time Gigi went into the muck with it and tried to describe how we got here and how, not just how we got here, but how we got here and how that affects why we're here and the position we're in as a society and then as a black community, she wasn't trying to hear it. May really thinks that you could divorce now from the past. The present was built in the past, May. The present was built in the past. You can't divorce what happened in 1604 or 1785 or 1776 or 1865, 1965. You can't divorce that. 1920s, 1940s. You can't divorce that from now. But May is a perfect representation of when you talk to your normal, everyday black woman, with a husband or not, single or not. Anything that's not aggrandizing of women, they don't want to hear it. Anything that doesn't say black men ain't shit, they don't want to hear it. Anything that doesn't say at the least that black men dropped the ball, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear history put in context. Not any history that says, actually, we got here because of these measures, these particular names and people, and that's okay. You don't have to hear it. But then you're going to deal with the consequences. And maybe not because she's married, but she'll watch her sisters deal with it. She'll watch other black women go through it while cursing black men and being on jump off for non-black men. She'll watch it. And she'll curse black men because it'll be black men's fault. Right? I want to emphasize this again. Materialism is not a both and thing. It's not. Don't let the rappers and the entertainers fool you. There's a reason why black men have higher credit scores than black women, why black men are in less debt than black women, even when you take out college student loan. There's a reason for that. One of the reasons is one of us has bought into the American dream more than the other. Well, damn. One of us has bought into keeping up with the Joneses more than the other. Well, damn. I know hip hop and rap music will have you believing otherwise, but your everyday black man can listen to Biggie or Lil Wayne or name them, Baby. Listen to Diddy. Listen to all the flat Jay-Z. Listen to all the flashy guys and get out that car and then go do his blue collar 9 to 5 and put something away when he gets paid in the next 2 weeks. Can black women say the same? The majority of black men aren't living and dying by the Beamer and Benz nameplates, the Audi nameplates, the German and Italian, and at worst, Japanese and British luxury nameplates. Black men aren't living and dying by that. Black women, on the other hand, Tesla or better, 3 Series or better, Benz CLA or better, Audi A3, Audi A4 or better. That's not a both and thing, right? You may think she's saying something special. You're not saying anything special. You overtalk Gigi once again. As much as you act like you cared, you overtalked him, and quite frankly, you really thought you was on his level educationally, and you're not. And you're not. But you are a black woman, so I guess actually you're above his level because you think you are. It's one thing to have a perspective. I will not discount your perspective. It's one thing to have a perspective. But what is your perspective informed by? What is your perspective informed by? Right? Y'all let I told y'all already, I told a brother Obsidian already. These people are conservative as hell. Kim Foster, Yanni, Chrissy, let them talk. May, Cynthia G, you let them talk. And yes, I know about the recent interview Cynthia G did with that brother that kind of come off a little sus. I seen the it popped up in my feed. I pressed it. It's in my history. I may or may not cover it. Right? Talking about selective breeding. I told y'all we're gonna end up in Auschwitz. If you hear a black woman talking about selective breeding, understand where we are. We're in Dachau now. But I say all that to say these people all sound the same. It doesn't matter how old they are. It doesn't matter what part of the country they come from. It doesn't matter if they were raised by two parents or not. It doesn't matter. You let them talk long enough and they all sound the same. Wannabe white women, wannabe elitist a-hole white women. These people are all pretty much talking about selective breeding. Shout out to PK Angel. Yeah, brother. Yes, we are in Auschwitz now. Right? You let these people talk long enough and you be like, who the hell let Hitler in the room? Who the hell let Leonidas in the room? But we dropping babies off the edge of cliffs because wait a minute, he got a cleft lip. Drop him. Right? You let these people talk long enough, these women talk long enough, and you kind of understand why we are in the position we're in. And these people claim to care about the black community, right? They claim to care about the black community. And thank you for the super chat. And Big Kev says they hate the space because we're 70 to 85% accurate. They hate the space. I'll do one better. They hate the space because we're speaking. Right? Oh yeah, I'm definitely doing a review of BGS's video. They of with the young lady saying they broke the table. So I saw that video already. I want to say I saw it pretty much when it started circulating around the interwebs, right? I saw it, but I didn't I didn't know what to do with it, to be honest with you. To be 100%, it's good to let BGS kind of lead the way on that. I didn't really know what to do with that video when I first saw it, right? I knew I kind of wanted to review it, but I wasn't prepared, right, with the statements that I kind of really want to put out there, right? The let the table break, let the ship sink, let the whole building collapse. Other than the fact that, once again, Mr. Z told y'all, like I said in the comments for BGS's video, the internet will expose us all, and you let them talk long enough, and they'll just let you know what it is. And understand, this is where Big Kev is 100% right. It's not just the accuracy, Big Kev. Once again, we're putting their back to the wall. This kind of think tank, this kind of social movement going on the interweb called the Black Manosphere, all the resources that we're gathering, it's put these people's back to the wall. Kevin Samuels put their back to the wall. The Daily Wrap-Up crew put their back to the wall. The Roger Report and Bernard Riley and Obsidian and BGS and O'Shea, Duke Jackson, and Angry Man all put these people's back to the wall. They have a response now. And their response to our response is say, let it burn to the ground. And the job was for you to adhere to me. You were supposed to kiss my ass. I was supposed to go to White Daddy and complain about you. And he was supposed to make you be what I wanted you to be or wife me up. Yeah, you know, they always reserve the right for White Daddy to wife them up. Right? That was supposed to be what happened. You weren't supposed to have a voice. You weren't supposed to talk. You weren't supposed to have a rebuttal. Oh no, this is not okay. If that's the case, then let it burn to the ground then. Right? Let it burn to the ground then. And that's what she's really saying. Right? Even if I speak about this now, I gotta speak about it again. But you know, that's what the young lady was really saying. Let it burn to the ground. Let it sink. You know. And shout out to Dr. Neil because he's right. They're the ones who destroyed the contract. Particularly amongst for black women and black men, they're the ones who destroyed the contract. If I can't be a white woman, then screw it. Right? And D Scott, thank you for the super chat. Black girl magic doctorate. Right? And understand, I said it before. Temper tantrum talk. Temper tantrum talk. Right? And remember what she said. And maybe they'll feel the way you feel. Hopefully, and she said it too, but she knows it's a bunch of crap. Hopefully they'll feel the way you feel. It's not my fault that you feel abandoned because you're not a freaking white woman. Because you want to attend PWIs. Because you want to have the white women condescending to you while the white dude offer you nothing but penis. And that's not Mr. Z's fault. That's not black men's fault. That you want to be around white folks and you want to be around them and their institutions, and then they treat you like crap. They treat you like the help, like a maid, and then you turn around and complain to black men about it. That's not our fault. Who told you to go over there? We're not the ones with the insatiable inferiority complex. You are. We're not the ones that's trying to be like Brad. We're not trying to be like Brad. But you're trying to be Karen. Ain't I a woman, right? Oops. They feel abandoned because they put themselves in the worst situations ever and then turn around and blame you for it. And have the unmitigated gall to say, well, maybe if they just let go, then you'll feel the way they feel. Lady. Right? What threat is that? What threat is that? No, you want to know why, and this is why, right? The Cynthia G's exist and say abort black males. Because imagine sounding like this young lady, and then you mess around and have a black son. And then you're going to have to watch as the world treats your black son a certain way, and you get all that hypocritical speech. You get that thrown in your face every single day your son walks out that door. When your son and your daughter walk out that door, you fear for your son far more than you fear for your daughter. And that's life thrown in your face, all the BS that you were spewing. Don't it remind you of the sister that was part of the Me Too movement, and then her son got caught up and she had to drop it? Don't y'all remember that back in 2019, 2020? She was one of the heads of this kind of Me Too movement, and her son got caught up and she had to get out of there. Because she had to watch as women weaponize the Me Too movement to go after certain men. Because it's all some BS lie theory that men, black men in particular, are spreading right up until it happens to your son. So now you understand why Cynthia G is the way she is. Abort black male babies, because I don't want to be slapped in the face with all the BS I'm saying because I have a black son and the world is treating him like shit. Right? I don't want to have to deal with the consequences of my own words, right? Morning, D-Hive. What's going on, bro? And Big Kev says they live in denial of, and thank you for the super chat. And Big Kev says they live in denial of multi-generational, multifaceted conspiracy of class warfare against most black men as to avoid admitting their active role in it. Of course. Because you know what it is? It's never wanting to deal with the fact that you get what you get when you tell us what you want. Translation. If you call into Kevin Samuel, okay, it is, let's say it is, oh, perfect. The average at best lady, right? You call into Kevin Samuel show. What was that, November or December of 2021? Of 2020? Was that November or December of 2020 or 2021? I can't remember. November or December of 2020, 2021. You call in the Kevin Samuel show. You make relationships seem very transactional. You are looking for a person that's going to kiss your rear end, that earns more than you, but somehow still defers to you. And you are going to do what? What did she say? What she know how to grow a garden or whatever foolishness she said. Fine. You have made it very clear what you're about. You have made it very clear what you're about. Fine. Now on the other end, men get to say you get what you get. If you want transactional relationship, then you get transactional relationships. And that is what many of the women are fighting against. They don't want to come out and just say it half the times, because then men get to say, okay, fine, if that's what it is, if these are the rules, fine. I will play to the rules, but you get what you get. Right? I will play to the rules, but you get what you get. You know where I've been kind of mulling this over, and y'all notice Mr. Z is not necessarily, I don't really speak about spirituality like that or all the like kind of airy fairy out there things, but I've really been playing around with this chaos energy thing, right? And it really is, I don't want any rules and structures or anything put on me. Me and Shay Sade had this conversation over a year ago at this point, right? Of like the reason why the women don't want to say, okay, this is what I'm looking for. This is, that's what it was. We were speaking about swirlers and divestors, and we were saying, why don't they show their work? Why don't they put a hard line and say, okay, this is what I think. If we do this, this will be the result, and then this and this and this and this. And why? Because then I have to be held to a standard. If I tell you black men are trash for these reasons, and this is why we should go after non-black men, and I say I'm pretty sure that at least 20% of white men are open to dating and, more importantly, marrying black women, then y'all could hold me to that standard. We could look in 20 years, 15 years, and see whether what I said would pans out, right? But then I'll be held to a standard. I'll be held. There's some measurement there. I can't just spew my little BS on the internet and then and not show my work in 20 years, and then all my subscribers fall off, right? Understand, much of the reason why we have the things we have is because we've been pushing back. Right? Much of the reasons we have the things we have is because we've been pushing back. Much of the reason we have the things we have, we have the Richard Reeves speaking, we have the Scott Galloway speaking, we have Christine Emba over here looking through and trying to see what's going on, and you could tell she's into white dudes. I wouldn't be if she ended up with a brother, that's okay, but I wouldn't be surprised if she end up if she's dating a white guy or she's into white dudes, right? But much of the reason why these people are snooping in and listening and trying to interview people is because we're responding. The young lady from, was it the Rolling Stone that interviewed Obsidian? Would she have ever interviewed Obsidian if we weren't making waves? And understand, she tried pushing back, but she wasn't ready. She thought Obsidian was a dummy. She thought Obsidian was a dummy, just a raving lunatic on the internet. And she got her heads handed to her. They just think we're sexist, misogynist pigs. It's a woman's right to look for a man that's nothing but a wallet. Talk about objectifying. What are what are the complaints? And I'm tying that to the young lady that talking about let the table break. Lady, y'all been left the table. What you talking about? That was Obsidian's whole mission. Get black women back to the table. Translation, you've been left the table. Let the table break. The table's still here. It's not going to break. Stop it. The table's never going to break. But you left the table, though. You've been left the table. Dear black women, the second white dudes offered you a little bit of penis and a couple of dollars, you left the table. Just own it. Threatening that let the table break. The table has existed since there's been men and women on planet Earth. Let the table break. This is specifically for black women. Let the table break. And then notice what she said at the end, too. And then essentially she said, what, let the consequences come as it may? Dear lady, whoever you are, black women are dealing with the consequences now with that abysmally low marriage rate, slowly decreasing population. Let's be very clear. White people population ain't the only one going to the dumps in America. That insane student loan debt. F what Paris Milan is saying. Y'all not down by no damn femicide. You want to see femicide? Take your ass to South Africa or India, goddamn, or Pakistan. Well, damn. No, you're mainly dying from food and health related diseases. You know what you're eating. Talking about deal with the consequences after. Okay, you know what the beauty of the internet is really for young black men, and when I say young black men, I mean those of us under the age of like 45, 40, is that we have elders to kind of shepherd us through and to tell us about their what they had to go through and their trials, right? The women aren't doing that over there. They're just talking crap about us. And so for those of us that are part of the black manosphere, we know to look out for certain things. We know to look out for certain signs, certain things she might say, maybe the way she speaks to the waitress, right? The one time she threatened you on something, the way she maneuver, the way she talk about race, the way she talk about money, right? We're being guided over here. The women, on the other hand, literally, it's like every few years, maybe every generation, they come back with the same talking points, like they're saying something new. I want to be very clear. It's not like they're rehashing the same talking points because they feel like we don't get it. No, they're coming back with the same talking points because they don't got nothing else. Especially recently, or they really don't have anything else. With the way black men have been responding on the interwebs for the past decade, or they really don't have any. We've put their back to the wall. Both black men in and out of the manosphere. They don't got nothing for Dr. Tommy Curry. They don't have anything for Dr. T. Dr. T has an open panel. Dr. T has an open. The most they could do with Dr. T is try to throw Themis at him, who was super uber disrespectful. Themis ain't gonna take his ass to Gigi because Gigi will light his ass up. Right? You don't see Crystal and Karazin interacting with none of these people. Chrissy, that's why in their spaces, for the most part, they have a no man policy. Only men they really engaging with is ass kissing men. Very few brothers ever try to talk to him and debate them. We're not over there like that. Mr. Z will go and peek in and see what they say, but we're not over there like that. Because for them, it's what I say is law. And I don't have to have data. I don't have to have facts. I've literally listened to a sister say that on the grapevine. This is why they come to you with all their BS lived experience talk. Right? The lady literally said, let the table break. Yawn. Would you sound like as a person that either recently got your little heart broken, maybe the guy you was drooling over to pass you holding a white woman's hand? You sound like a little bitter sister who's mad that you can't get or keep the type of men you feel you deserve. And so now you on some let the table break. Let me say it for her clearly. Go beat a bust down for whatever white dude or Latino dude you think is going to make you feel better. Or maybe woman. Huh, okay. Anyway, yeah. And if anybody has the link to that particular video, please put it in the comments, that video standalone, because I want to read through the comments and see how the women are responding to her saying that. Right? Let the table break. Boy, y'all done been left the table talking about let the table break. You know what it is? It's like somebody that you're having a conversation with them and mid-conversation, they just leave. Right? So it's like, black men and black women are having this conversation up until about the late 60s, maybe early 70s. Black women leave, and then this young lady come back 50 some odd years later talking about, oh, and by the way, let the table break. Excuse me, ma'am. Y'all done left the table 50 years ago. Maybe even 60 years ago. How you gonna come back and talk about, okay, let the table break? Man, you done flew to Jupiter and back talking about, and one more thing. Let the table break. What? What did you do? Go fly to Pluto to go get some type of Thor's hammer or something like that to come back and try to smash the table? You gotta know there's a bunch of women clapping it up for her like she said something. Let the table break. Get your lame ass the hell up out of here. Right? And boy, if there's one thing about black women will let you know they got the whole entire universe on their shoulders. Not just the galaxy, not the solar system. No, black women will speak. We got the whole. We holding up the whole universe. Right? Season life. I don't think the table broke. The table's there. There is no breaking the table. The table is negotiate. There is no. Listen. There is no breaking. They left the table. There is no. The table done existed since men and women have existed. Now the black table, the black American table, that is a different question. Right? I agree with Dr. Ron O'Neill 100% that they didn't destroy the social contract, but the table is there. The table is there. This lady couldn't break the table. If every black woman, even though rotund ones, stood on the top of the table, they couldn't break the damn table. Ain't no breaking the table. What she's really saying is she's disappointed with what's at the table and she's gonna leave. Y'all done left 50, 60 years ago. All right. Always talking like the whole universe is on their shoulders. And how would the world exist if we didn't have the whole universe on our shoulders? Lady, there's a whole bunch of y'all that's single with no children. You ain't contributing nothing to no one. No, let me take that back. You're having bedroom fun in a car with one of your coworkers, and you work for some a-hole middle-aged or old white woman or white man. So I guess you're doing for them. But outside of that, you ain't doing for nobody else, really. And maybe, hopefully, they'll feel the way you feel, boy. I told y'all, just because they're not using the words, just because they're not fronting out the mouth, doesn't mean they're not throwing a temper tantrum. I called them petulant children for a reason. It's not fair. It's not fair. I want to be Becky too. I want to live Becky's life too. Why can't I live like Becky? Why can't I have the Audi A6 too? I want to have a house in the suburbs in a gated community and look down on other Negroes too. Why can't I look down on other Negroes too? I want to be the old white woman with a teacup dog in my bag and walk into stores that say you can't have a dog and look at them like they're losers and nobody says anything to me too. Why can't I do it? Really, that is the true and real reality and complaint of most black women when they start getting into this talk, including me, by the way, including me. And quite frankly, it's not just limited to black women. Like I always tell y'all, they're just the loudest about it. By the way, just don't watch the moves of Asian women, East Asian women in particular. It really is the myth of white womanhood. This lady talking about let the table break. Man, let the table get your lame ass the hell up out of here. How you come back to the table 50, 60 years later talking about let the table break? What? What, you forgot your keys? What? Mr. Z done did it before. I walk out the house and I forget my car keys in the house, but I'm on the phone, so I'm kind of like lingering in front of the house, and then I walk back in the house. Right? I walk back in the crib, and my lady's like, "Wait a minute, I thought you left." No, babe, I just was outside for like the past 15 minutes BSing on the phone. I left my keys. How you leave the table 50, 60 years ago, then come back to the table talking about let the table break? Man, if you don't get your and maybe they'll feel the way we feel. And she kind of speaking like this, like the aura was like this aura of neglect, right? This BS that so many, particularly college educated black women are on, like black men abandoned them, black men abandoned you, right? These are I want to tell y'all this. I want to be very clear. And shout out to BGS, shout out to Dr. Ron O'Neill. These are losers. Forget how much money they make, forget how educated they are. They are losers. They can't make it work with men. Any man, I guarantee you she couldn't make it work with no white or Latino man also. I put money. They got their little education, they got their money, and they're throwing a fit because they can't get or keep the type of men they think they deserve. Let the table break. Get your lame ass out of here. Go engage in some same-sex relationship. How about that? Y'all gotta admit, hey, I don't know what other women are on when they're on the same-sex loving thing, but I could tell you what black women are on when they're doing it. That if it's not, if black women are not engaging in political lesbianism, y'all tell me what the hell it is. Political singleness, remember y'all heard it here first, and political lesbianism. That's all black women are engaging in when they're same-sex loving or when they single pretty much indefinitely. You see me, D. Scott? Tried so hard with you Negroes. Get the hell out of here. In other words, you got your little heart broken and you tried so hard. Would you let a Negro hold your car and he brought it with no gas? Or you were dating a man you knew was out of your league and then he played your ass, and or he left you for the prettier chick. Now you feel like you got your little heart broken. Man, if y'all little hurt, bitter sisters just always ranting and raving. But because they think they speak like this, just let the table break, ladies. Right? So she's not throwing a temper tantrum because she sound like that. Let the table break. Let the ship sink. Let the building collapse. That's one thing about our society. You put a woman in front of them that sounds like this when they speak, and they enunciate their words, and you can hear every syllable. As long as they speak like this, and this is their demeanor, we think they're not throwing a temper tantrum. We don't see them as the petulant children they are because they speak like this, right? Because in this one moment, they're not being sassy. But black men understand the sassy meter done broke because she's taking jabs at black men even when she's speaking like this. That's why she said this is for black women specifically. Which y'all think Mr. Z can do that too? I've been around black men, women my entire life. I know a bitter sister when I see her. I could smell her from a million miles away. Our society give way too much passes to women that all they have to do is speak like this and talk crap about men. And then feminists will say the person is political and we can't discount her experiences. And if she just speaks like this and definitely makes it seem like black women have the entire universe on their backs, and that if it wasn't for them, there would be no black community. And halfway true, there wouldn't be a black community if it wasn't for black men or black women. But black women speak like they're the only ones defending it. And black men are not doing anything. And as long as I speak like this, with my fake calm tone, but in reality, inside, I am a 7-year-old throwing a temper tantrum. But as long as I speak like this, there's no problem. Thank you, Indigo Flow. Yawn, right? They really think they're doing something. Tying that back to May, right? Look, May and this young lady are the same. May told you pretty much leave the bottom 80%, leave them alone. I'm saying 80%. She didn't say that, but it said, "Hey, if you're not part of this tribe over here, then oh well." And then she said, "Not everybody's gonna win." And she said she believes in separation. All right, I done told y'all. Once they start getting into that type of talk, now Mr. Z does realize I'm not some kumbaya, we are the world person that thinks you can take the most wayward black people with us to the promised land. That's not a thing, right? I'm not delusional. But once you start hearing black people talk the way May was speaking, understand what you're hearing, right? Once you start hearing black people sound the way May does, particularly black women, I believe in separation. All these people are not going to win. We're all not going to win. Oh, so let me get this right. You think you're going to live in America? Black people are already only what 12% of the U.S., right? 12, 13-ish percent. You think you're going to live in America and cleave off 80% of the black community and tell them go jump off a bridge or something, and then leave 20% of the 12% of the black community in this white racist country, and y'all just gonna be all right because y'all got some money and some status? Alexa, cue up the video of Chris Rock being stopped by the cops every goddamn day because he was driving his luxury car.
through his city in Jersey? Alexa, cue up the videos showing before LeBron went to LA, them spray painting the N-word on his gate at his house. Huh. Alexa, cue up what's his name? Oh my god. From how did I forget this brother name? Um God damn, I forgot this brother's name. Right? Whose daughter was complaining about the racist white dude in her high school, and she's going to an exclusive elite high school in New York. And the racist white dude is talking crazy to her. Right? So yeah, the rich people got to deal with it too, man. The rich black people got to deal with it too. Right? It's unavoidable, May. May think that if you just cleave off these the what the people that are not productive and that are not industrious enough, everything will be all right. And we just show we've been saying this for like over a century. And she made sure, well, I'm not talking about the talented 10th type of thing. Well, actually, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Dear people, Mr. Z engages in it too. Stop trying to mitigate for what you actually saying and say, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm not talking about the talented 10th type of, yes, you are. And that's okay. Just stand on what you're saying. Right? But May and that young lady are saying the same thing. The lady said, let the table break. And May saying, let the table break. She's saying it's slightly different. I believe in separation. Oh, yawn. Y'all been listening to Jason Black way too much. Y'all been listening to Jason Black way too hard and way too much. I'm not saying that we need to drag Pookie and Keisha kicking and screaming into the promised land with us so they can mess it up. That is not what I'm saying. Excuse me. But once you put that sentiment out there, right? And especially, see, Green Gorilla kind of poked at her when he kind of implied that she's sounding a bit genocidal, and she ain't pushed back. Either she didn't realize what Gigi was saying, or she agreed with that sentiment. Uh-oh. Shout out to PK Angel, like we said, and let them talk long enough. Let black women talk long enough. Let women talk long enough, and you get to eugenics territory. It's 100% true. You get to eugenics. You let women talk long enough, and you're in Dachau. So our society has to be honest about that. Not just with black women, that with women in general. Let's be very clear. It's the environment, like BGS says. It's the environment, like Nameless said. We've made the world so comfortable that women have put the bar so damn high that for them, luxury life is standard now. Now, some of them sound more egregious than others. Some of them, it's not as serious as others. But for many of them, the standard is luxury life now. That's the standard. The standard is luxury life now. That's why the young lady sounded the way she's. You say what you want to say. When you put, and I, it would have been so dope to see a conversation with Tone Talks and Kevin Samuels, right? Because when Kevin Samuels would let the ladies talk long enough, they think they're not saying anything when they start describing the life they want. They don't think they're talking about $1 million. That's why Roger told you, shout out to the Roger Report, they're not talking about 6-figure men. They think they're talking about six-figure men. They're talking about millionaires. And when Kevin Samuels would ask them to describe the life they're trying to live, it's millionaire. They're saying six figures. They're saying $100,000. They're looking for millionaires though, because they don't know money. They don't realize that they're talking about millionaires. That it's not actually six figures you're talking about. You're speaking about somebody that at least earns $250,000 a year and has $1-2 million saved up right now. You're talking about millionaires. You're talking about somebody that earns 300 something thousand dollars a year. And I want y'all to look up. Oh my God, it's in my community tab somewhere, right? The channel that did that bought in a bunch of people and started asking them how much do they earn a year. And once you got past 80 grand a year, ain't nobody making no money. I think one white woman made like 80 something, and then everything after that was white dudes. And it was and I think the top guy made like maybe 400. Was it 200 or something, or was it 400? I can't recall. But I want to be very clear. These women are describing they're describing like millionaires or near millionaires, thinking they talking about six-figure men. And that's what this is really about. We done made the world too damn comfortable. That's what Mr. Z is saying in his long-winded ass way. We done made the world too damn comfortable, and the women are saying, well, my new standard is luxury. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Just be prepared not to get it and to be unhappy. That's all. Be prepared for you and your ilk and the women that think like you to be one of the reasons why the population is going to crap. Why more and more young men are not having sex. Why more and more young women are not having children. Why more and more people are not getting married. It's beautiful that you're actually saying it out loud so we can get the system to stop blaming the young men and the boys. That's the beauty of what the women are engaging in right now, right? That's the beauty of what the women are engaging in right now. They're saying it, yeah. Yeah, I want the lifestyle, and if I can't get it, then screw everything, right? And shout out to May for just actually just showing us you are who we thought you were, right? I should go back to my voice like this. Maybe if I create a couple of videos like this, my female subscriber base will increase, right? If I use this tone and I make sure to throw black men on the bus and I say to black men, really, black women make a whole lot more sense than we give them credit. It really is us. If we would just try harder to be white men, then maybe black women would respect us more. Ain't that right, Paris Malone? Paris Malone told us the way black women respond to white men and the way they respond to black men is because black men ain't ish. Ain't that right, Paris? If I use this voice more often, then maybe I'll be taken more seriously by black women because I won't sound so irate, right? Delivery is important, isn't it? Let me turn down the estrogen in my voice and speak a little bit more like this. I'm still sounding a bit calm, but I turned down the estrogen, even though the women respond more to this. The borderline effete and effeminate sound. Because this is less threatening to them. This let them know that they've colonized you. Yes, Mr. Z can engage in this also. I did tell y'all I worked at a couple of law offices. Will AR said, May is the unwanted gift that keeps on giving. Not even a clinic will help in that situation, bruh. She thinks she's saying something. I don't know what she thinks she's engaging in or saying that's much different than pretty much anyone else. Remember I had the conversation with May on I had the conversation with May on the breakdown, and what May is really trying to tell black men is deal with the new modern reality. The new modern reality is that most of you won't get married because you don't got no money. Most of you are not desirable by women, so just deal with it and eat it. And what about those women? Well, screw them. I'm trying to be on some elite woman thing anyway. I'm just telling y'all to stop complaining because I can see it on my timeline. You're making us look bad. You're making the world think that me and them hood rat chicks y'all talking about are different. May, it's not only hood rat chicks. Well, me and those women you're talking about is different, and we're different. I told you, May was an elitist classist a-hole. I could smell it. And by the way, you don't have to be all about your money. Well, you don't only have to have money to be an elitist. There's a whole lot of wannabes. And there's an argument to be made that most of the women that sound like May are wannabes. Right? Oh, D Scott, you killing me right now. D Scott says, thank you for the super chat. Z with the soft nigga voice. Oh man, what you mean by ASMR? Lefty ASMR, right? Yeah, man. Like, but actually, you can speak to Leon about that. Oh, they love that, right? So tell me, what are your problems? Boy, I could be a good therapist. I could fake it. Oh, I don't know how long I could do it though, bro. I'll be having that drink. I'll be having to have them hard drinks after work. Right? Should I hit Trill with the soft voice? Good morning, Trill. Borderline sound like I'm flirting with Trill. Good morning. These people are, bro. I'm telling you. That, in all honesty, if you speak like that, then you don't sound like you're throwing a tantrum. And the young lady talking about let the table break, she's throwing a damn tantrum. She's pissed. She is. I would love to know her personal story. I promise you, it's some brother at the end of it that she was drooling over, that may not even have known that she liked him, and she didn't, and it didn't work out. I guarantee you, somewhere along the line, it's her being heartbroken. I put money somewhere along the line, it's her being heartbroken. And it could have been anything from rejection to a breakup. It could have been anything like that. But because she's speaking like this, and ladies, let the table break, let the building collapse, let the ship sink, and hopefully they'll feel the way you feel. Well, who's gonna feel the way black women feel? What, white society? Pfft, don't make me laugh. Who, black men? You mean the black men that Kim Foster told y'all to stop protest? Well, she's gonna stop protesting for? You mean the black men that Yanni said y'all wanted this? Speaking about the civil rights movement and civil rights leaders, you mean those black men? The black men that Paris Malone is calling Naker? The black men that Lexus Exodus is calling Naker? The black men that Cynthia G are saying to abort them before they even become men? Abort them as fetuses? You mean those black men? Maybe they'll feel the way you feel if you just abandon them. I think that already happened. Right? But I think they're doing something slick, right? South Florida soft voice experience. Trell gave me the blush face, hysterical. No, Trell, we I'm kind of making this a twofer, but I'm definitely gonna do a dedicated video to the video BGS did of the young lady talking about let the table break. Once again, shout out to Dr. Ron O'Neill, shout out to BGS, right? But yeah, so I'm responding to that by saying, She thinks she's doing something by having the soft voice and sounding like this. And so she sounds like she's not throwing a temper tantrum and that she's not mad at the world because she can't get or keep the type of men she wants. Or let's even say that she might be in a relationship. She's just speaking of the frustration that other women feel, other black women who are so frustrated that they keep on showing up for black men and black men don't show up for black women, that they keep on doing and striving and working hard for black men, but black men are not doing the same for black women. So that's what I'm responding to. Huh? Hey, man, it was a trip. The first time, when you have that kind of aggressive, sexy moment with your lady for the first time. So I did that to her, and then I turned into I started giggling and laughing about some shit randomly, and she was like, "Oh boy," and I was like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm a real human being." Right? I was like, "I'm a real human being." Like what you thought, right? So yes, Mr. Z can speak like this and be non-threatening and be in a room full of women giving them that work, but in this voice, so they can never tell you it's your tone and your delivery because you're speaking like this. And actually, I could turn it down all the way so that I don't even sound sarcastic and like I'm taking jabs while speaking, which by the way they're doing to you while they're speaking to you. And if you speak just like this and you give them nowhere to go, then almost they have nothing to do but deal with your arguments. Now, don't ever get it twisted. They're still going to try to find a way out of it, right? This is when the insults get real. But if you speak like this, they can never say that it's your tone and your delivery. And remember, that's almost always the first thing they go to is that you're being condescending when they're the ones really being condescending. But they'll speak to you like you're the one being condescending. And if you just speak like this, which goes against every single testicular molecule in your goddamn body. But, right? If you just speak in a way that's least offensive to white women, right? When Gigi keep on telling y'all about white women's sensibilities and how the whole damn world has done flip to be appealing to white women's sensibilities, or at least be sensitive to white women's sensibilities, he ain't wrong at all. Like at all. Right? And even black women demand that now. Right, but right until we're in the bedroom though. But anyway. Right? So yeah, Trill, that's what I'm responding to. The young lady that was speaking like this. And the ghost said, I can't stand that term, show up. Man, show up and do what exactly? We show up for them. Do you? Wait. You mean the way BLM showed up for black men and then ran out the back door with the money? Oops. You mean that way, right? Yeah, y'all show up for us, all right. Show up to steal the resources and run out the back door. Thanks for the show up. Right? But there is definitely a way to speak. So this is my normal tone of voice when speaking to, remember, works for the Florida Democratic Party. This is my normal tone of voice when speaking about certain subjects. I turn it all the way down. As I said to Black Uru one time, I become supremely conciliatory in my tone of voice. Right? It goes against just about everything Mr. Z is, because Mr. Z likes talking like this. And when I talk to my friends and my family and my associates, I speak like this. But when you're talking to the a-holes of planet Earth, the a-holes of the black community, the petite bourgeoisie black women of the black community, you speak to them like this. Right? Because they're so easily offended. They feel so easily attacked. It's always an attack, right? Especially from you as a straight black man. Listen to the young lady speak. Let the table break, right? Let the ship sink. Let the ship sink. Dear black women, who the hell is going to survive the ship sinking? You? With your debt, right? Okay, yeah, that's it. You're going to survive the ship sinking. The proverbial ship sinking. Black women think they're going to survive the proverbial ship sinking. Imagine being so myopic. You say, let the ship that I'm on sink. You think this is Titanic? You think we're going to let ourselves drown in that cold ass water and you're going to be holding on to the door? Okay, yeah, that's it. Mess around with Z, I'll kick you off the goddamn door. Ain't gonna be no fight. Let the ship sink. You mess around with Z, I'll throw you off the ship before it even sinks. Let the ship sink. Freaking loser. I want to be very clear. I want to say this. Anyone of any prominence and note that's listening, that's not an enemy, but you probably are. But this is what temper tantrum educated black women sound like. Don't get caught up in the tone of voice and the delivery. This is what it sounds like. It's always putting them as, you know, we like Indigo said, we show up for black men. We do for them. We protect them. We hold the black community on our backs. This is where Vincent LeBeau come in with that peak with peak crap, right? Black women are the backbones of the black community, the backbone, excuse me, of the black community, right? Isn't that what the Democrats are saying? Isn't that what black women are saying? Isn't that what lame ass Negroes are saying? Black men are saying? Why? How do we expect this young lady not to sound the way she sounds when her entire life she's been hearing people blow smoke up black women's rear end and tell black women how they're the backbone of the black community? Right? See, if I speak like this and I fake stutter when I speak because it looks like I'm really thinking. It's not like I already have my canned responses ready because I've heard this a million times. But if I speak like this and it looks like I'm really considering what they're saying when they're speaking, right? And I'm conciliatory and I throw black men leg under the bus a little bit when I'm having conversation, right? And I speak positively about everything that black women have done for black men over the past 50 years, like run out the back door with the resources hand in hand with white women until white women trip them. If I don't acknowledge that part of our history, if I make it seem like, you know, it is black men. Black men have not stepped up for black women. Black men have not done for black women. Black men want to be patriarchs. Black men want patriarchy, as if black women don't want patriarchy, just at their specification. If I speak like this, then all is well with the world. Loser talk, right? Loser talk. It's not about not acknowledging the plight of someone. It's speaking as if some of your plight is not by their doing, is not by their hands. Homegirl really said, let the table break. Then you turn around and you have May speaking on some very elitist terms, right? And say, you know, essentially over here, it sounds like we're a bunch of defeated males. Because speaking about the environment, this is DeSantis talk. This is why I said she's like DeSantis, the governor of Florida. Speaking about what has been done and what is going on is victim talk. This is when they get into that, oh, that's victim mentality. Describing the current environment as victim mentality. And she was like, I'm around black men that's winning. May. The majority of black men don't earn $50,000 a year. The majority of any men don't earn $50,000 a year. In 2016, the unemployment rate for black men was 21%. And that was for the men that were looking. May, what are you talking about? Are there black men that are winning? Of course there are. But are the masses of black men mired and stuck in some type of effed up situation, whether it's at the hands of baby mamas or mamas, at the hands of the government, at the hands of this society? Yes. And by the way, what Green Gorilla was trying to bring up earlier was that the Brookings Institute paper that said 70% of black boys born into upper middle class and stable situations drop back down to working class. 70%, May. Because I heard the replay, and when I heard Green Gorilla trying to recite it and remember it, because Mr. Z has these things memorized. I was like, it's 70%, Green Gorilla, 70%, right? Right. And Detroit says, speaking of women, has the highest poverty rate. The number one indicator of poverty is divorce, bro. I'm not disagreeing with you, by the way, Detroit. I'm just saying, like, the number one indicator of poverty in America is divorce. The same thing that women file at 70 and 80%, if she college educated 90%. They drive themselves into poverty. That's why you see more and more of them admitting that they wish they never would have got divorced from their husband. Right? Admitting that they wish they never got divorced from their husband, because that pride and that ego made them get divorced from their husband. And then 10 and 15 years down the line, when they don't got nothing, when they're about to retire or they retired and they're lonely in that house with that teacup dog, or two dogs done passed already. They done had a dog and then they had another dog. And I'm not saying because of neglect, because dogs don't live as long. They're lonely as hell. They're single as hell, and they done aged out the game as hell. Right? And y'all give Mr. Z a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Let me try to wrap some stuff over here. Intermission time. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat.
And Detroit says, when she comes around, cue the Jaws theme music. I'm saying. I'm just saying. Right? But yeah, no, I mean, look, we're dealing with mouse utopia, right? It is what Nameless is saying. It is the consolidization of mouse utopia of the hive model, right? The ladies are just saying it. And it didn't take long. It took a bit of pushback. You understand that the black manosphere is not mainstream? It took a bit of pushback, and they're already collapsing. They're already telling you, well, then screw it then. Let it burn to the ground. Already. All it took was a little bit of pushback. A few news articles, a few well-placed stats, and they're already telling you, let it burn to the ground then. If that's not bitter, if that's not angry, if that's not resentful, if that's not saying, screw the marketplace of ideas, screw democracy, right? It's my narrative or nothing. It's what I say or nothing. And if what you're saying go against what I'm saying, then let it burn to the ground. If you have the facts and the history on your side, let it burn to the ground. That's why I said DeSantis. I know what I'm saying, right? I know what I'm saying, right? Jason Black is 100% correct about this when he says, for them, if history doesn't work in my favor, then screw history. We'll rewrite it. We'll rewrite it in your face. You know how bold that is? So black women are just taking their cues from white racist society, as per normal. If the history is not flattering to me, then I'll rewrite it. Right? I'll burn the Library of Alexandria to the ground. Right? I'll rewrite it. And so that's where we are. That's what they're saying. They don't like that we're actually pushing back, and especially look, think about being in a world where your mother and your grandmother got to rip your father and your grandfather apart, and there was very little systemic pushback, like mainstream pushback. And now you're living in the world where Richard Reeves is on CNN, where Scott Galloway is on MSNBC offering some pushback. And much of their rhetoric is coming from the mouths or the ideas of black men, of all people. Right? Of course you're going to be like, all right, then screw it. Because black women and women in general, this is not even a black woman thing, so let me retract that. Women always reserve the right to play victim. That's their role. You can't be a victim as a man. You definitely can't be a victim of a woman, even if she is in a better class position than you. Shout out to Tory Lanez, even if she is bigger than you. Even if she has more wealth than you, you can't be a victim of a woman. Especially as a black man, you can't be a victim of a black woman. You could maybe be a victim of a white woman. The bird watcher and the Cooper situation that happened in New York, they'll concede that just a smidge. But you definitely can't be a victim of a black woman as a black man. That's victim mentality talk. Right? That's how they talk. That's how they speak. Being a victim is reserved for women, not men. Being a victim of circumstance, being a victim of history,
is reserved for women, not men. If you're a victim as a man, you're weak. If you're a victim as a woman, well, life happened to you. Life doesn't happen to men. By the way, Mr. Z doesn't agree with none of this. I'm just letting y'all know the dominant sentiment. It's not like the brothers my age and older don't know. But for you young brothers, let me let you know how the world sees it. You're never a victim as a man. You're weak as a man. These people will come to your funeral and practically pee on it because you put yourself in a position out of your own ineptitude or your own weakness. But you're never a victim as a man. Even as a black man, you're never really truly a victim. That's how they speak. That's what May is saying, right? It sounds like a whole lot of victim talk, right? Victim mentality. Right? Good one, Lithium. Hyper agency for men. Hypo agency for women. Yes. Right? Now forget, who is it, Zora Neale Hurston? Forget everybody else in the world knowing that black women in America and white men in America are like the freest people on the planet. Forget that. You let black women like this young lady talking about let the table break, you let her speak, and black women have the whole entire universe on their shoulders. Never mind the incarceration rate for black men. Never mind the unemployment rate for black men. Never mind the life expectancy for black men. Right? Never mind any of that. Never mind that black men's face is the face of the bottom in America. Never mind any of that. Never mind the fact that the state is constantly watching black men, constantly vigilant on making sure black men don't have any type of leadership role in any type of uprising. Once again, the Black Messiah, right? We got to prevent the rise of a Black Messiah, right? We got to prevent the rise of a Black Messiah. These people are not going to assassinate BLM leaders. Not the current supposed BLM leaders, anyway. We don't know the same about Darren Seals, and Fred Hampton's death proves to you what they're willing to do to black men. Alicia Garza didn't have to worry about that. Patrice Cullors didn't have to worry about that. The other one didn't have to worry about that. None of you have to worry about that as black women. Black queer women. Right? You want to know why you don't have to worry about that? Because you're not a threat. Goddamn. You could do all that protesting and marching and what Patrice Cullors was doing, dancing your way to what, liberation? Get your lame ass. Let me, pro tip. If the US government ain't trying to off you, then you really ain't posing no threat. Oh, goddamn. If you're not on the list of something, right? You see them brothers had a look at what was it, BIE, right? If you're not on the list of something, if your name is not on the list of something, if they're not keeping a vigilant eye on you, if they don't have some type of plan to get you the hell up out of here, then you're not a threat. Dear Patrice Cullors, you're not a threat. Alicia Garza, you're not a threat. In other words, you ain't saying nothing. If you're not a threat, you're not saying anything. You're not actually challenging the system. Ooh, Detroit. Right? And Detroit says, who is the Black Messiah and who's the Judas? Sir. We know the answer to that question. We know the answer to that question. Right? Let's go ask the young lady who said let the table break. Right? Let the ship sink. Does that sound like someone that's that sound like a messiah to you? Right? No is trying to put everything on the ship. This lady's telling you let the ship sink. Let the ship sink because I'm not a white woman, an upper middle class, spoiled brat, asshole white woman. Let the ship sink because I don't get to be Miss Anne. Because I don't get to be Miss Anne. Let the ship sink. I gave you 50 years. Dear black men, I gave you 50 years to make me Miss Anne. I started chastising you the day the civil rights movement, civil rights legislation started passing. You didn't make me a white woman in 50 years, so let the ship sink. I gave you half a century. Little did you know, you were on a clock. Shout out to Jason Black for that also. Yes, women be having you on a clock. They don't tell you they have you on a clock. To all the young brothers under the age of 30, understand your woman has you on a clock. Most likely she has you on a clock. Low-key building resentment towards you because she got to sit next to Karen, who keep on telling her she don't need this job. Karen needs the job, black women. And black women low-key be boiling resentment towards black men because Karen keep on telling her she don't need the job. She can live off of her husband's income. Her parents are leaving her some money. Her parents are probably are leaving her some money. Probably not as much as she tell you. Every once in a while it is more than they tell you. But either way. Train tracks, train tracks, train tracks. You know. Let the table break. You've been left the table. And this is the one thing, you know, this is the one thing I think I'm a disagree with a lot of brothers in the black manosphere. The table ain't never breaking. The table ain't never breaking. That doesn't mean the table don't collect dust because ain't nobody on it. You know, the little cobwebs and stuff like that. That doesn't mean that black men don't go their own way, black women don't go their own way. Really, we can't. We're attached by the hip. This is not a thing, right? But the table breaking, the table's been there, like I said, since the beginning of humanity. The table has always been there. This lady wants to break the table because she's mad that she ain't getting what she feels she deserves from the particular men she wants, the particular men she finds attractive and appealing. So she actually wants to break the table. What she really should have said is, I want to break the table, not let the table break. No, let's be very clear. Black women like you have been throwing temper tantrums and trying to hit the table with a goddamn hammer. Thor's hammer. Right? You've been trying to break the table. That's what you and Cynthia G are on. Cynthia G said it. I'm trying to destroy the black community. Y'all throwing temper tantrums out here. Petulant children stomping on the table, hoping the table would give way and break, and it ain't break yet. If you could, you would turn off every black woman's vagina when it comes to black men, and that way you think that black men. What's the name of the story trail? Lestrada? You think that black men would adhere to black women's what demands? Wait, not even all black women's demands. Your demands. If you could just turn black women off of black men. Have fun with that, by the way. Right? Have fun with that, by the way. Let the table break. Lame ass. Whenever I hear women speak like this, I don't care if this shit, if I'm looking at a legit millionaire, a legit liquid millionaire. Same thing I told y'all about Ebony K. Williams. Oh, she throwing a temper tantrum. Okay, I get it. Right? Oh, you bitter and angry. I get it. Right? Don't slip on the frozen eggs. Right? And that's all this young lady's engaging in. And what May's engaging in is some fake ass elitist talk. Get your you know what? And Black Uber was right. I only listened to a teeny tiny bit of when brothers jumped on the panel. And Black Uber was right. We got to be careful because she's married, and Black Uru was right. You put us in a position because we really want to fire your ass up, but you have a husband, and it's not really respect of you. I said it. It's respect of him. It's respect for him. Y'all remember how mad the feminists were getting that Laura London, how we were treating Laura London after the Nipsey situation? And y'all only doing that because she was with Nipsey. Okay, and your issue is what? Hey, brothers didn't even deny it. Okay, and yeah, we have respect for Nipsey, so we treating her well. And she's attractive. So you wouldn't treat me like that. Are you with a black man? Are you with a man? No, okay then. Right? Shout out to Perfect Timing. Yeah, cool table. Yeah, your man ain't part of the cool table. You ain't been sanctioned. Black women, if y'all really want black men to start playing this game, y'all don't know how ugly it's gonna look for you. Not for black men, for you. Yeah, we went after Kodak when he was making those type of comments. Yeah. Because we sanction, because we ride with Nipsey, and so Laura London was automatically sanctioned. Y'all wouldn't do that for other black women. Do these other black women have men, especially men that we respect? No? Okay then. Y'all got all type of weirdo rules over there in the sisterhood. Every time a black man meets an untimely death, Pierce Malone over here dancing on his grave. Y'all got on top of, y'all not sanctioning Pierce Malone now, are y'all? Y'all not telling her to shut the hell up now, are y'all? Y'all low key, high key, are in agreement with her. All right then. Thank you, Indigo said that like it was a bad thing. Right? Y'all only protected Laura London because y'all find her attractive and because she was with Nipsey. I don't understand what you're saying right now. What are you saying? Y'all make it sound like it's a bad thing. That lets you know that much of what they say is coming from a place of bitterness, a place of jealousy. Laura London represents their light-skinned cousin that always got the man. So even when the man, meets a kind of gruesome death, Even then, the world is treating her better. It's jealousy. And that's the same thing the young lady, let the table break. That's what she's engaging in. Get your lame ass out of here. Let the table break. The table ain't going nowhere. Y'all left the table for 50, 60 years. The table's still here, by the way. For those of you that didn't catch what I was saying earlier, right? Because I said it a little while ago. It's like somebody, you know what it is? And I use this example. You ever leave the house, right? And when you get to the car, you realize you left your car keys in the house. And so you lollygagging outside and you get back to the house maybe 15 minutes later. And your lady or a family member or a relative is like, well, I thought you left. And you're like, no, I left the keys in the house. That's what black women are doing right now. Black women like this young lady. You left the table 50, 60 years ago. And then you come back after you done went to Pluto and back. Talking about, and another thing. Let the table break. Wait a minute. Wait, what? You've been waiting for the table for like 50 years. Black women left the table like 50, 60 years ago. And this young lady, apparently she ain't get the memo talking about let the table break. You mean the table you left 50, 60 years ago? You're throwing a temper tantrum, lady. You stomping on the table. The table ain't give way yet. The table's not going to collapse, lady. Get your lame ass the hell up out of here. Go do what you want to do, which is some white man. Goddamn. Hey, y'all see the way she was dressed, right? Don't think she's still not pogo sticking on white penis. Right? I'm not saying she is. I wouldn't be surprised if she is what Mr. Z is saying. Shout out to Fab Socialism. You see what I see. Fab Socialism over here acting like she don't know what this is. Why are all these radical black women with white men? Because they don't mean what they say. They actually do want a white patriarch. I said it then, and then we saw the video of the black women over here railing against white men, white people, talking about they smell like dogs, and she got a whole white boyfriend. They don't mean it. They're only saying what they know other black women want to hear. They're virtue signaling. They're virtue signaling to the sisterhood. The sisterhood likes railing against white men while it secretly wants white men. Railing against white women because it secretly wants to be a white woman. Railing against black men even though it wants black penis. So that's what she's engaging in. That's what all of these women are engaging in. Lame asses. And the Roger report is correct. We need to call these people the socially awkward. They're truly the socially awkward people. But I'm going to take it a step further, not just call them socially awkward. Call them the lames that there are. Take your lame ass, your corny lame ass somewhere else. And if you think Mr. Z won't call a black woman a lame to her face, you got another thing coming. Lame, corny, no personality having ass. Take your ass somewhere else. Let the table. Let me hit y'all that's just recently coming in here. Let me hit y'all with the young lady voice. Ladies, let the table break. Let the ship sink. Let the building collapse. Because I'm angry, and so are you, that we're not white women. I'm angry, and so are you, that black men haven't made us white women. So let the table break. Let it collapse. Right? Who called it the soft nigga voice? Was it Detroit or was it Indigo? It was a D-Scott. D-Scott, the one who said it. Right? That is hilarious. Oh, yeah. Today's Friday. Oh, yeah. We're definitely using profanity. Cover your children's ears. Right? So Friday morning. It's payday Friday. We're using profanity. Right? Indigo had me dying. Soft nigga voice. But it is, though. The non-offensive appealing to white women lame ass sensibilities voice, and white women are not even who they act like they are in public. Who white women are in reality are the white women on the dock in Alabama. That's who white women really are. All that fake soft sensibilities they portray. Lame asses. Toya said, for saying what I'm too much of a lady to say. Right? What you mean, Toya, the fact that these women are they're the ones that's truly the lames? They're the ones that's truly socially awkward? They're the ones that's truly jealous? That part? Right? And thank you for the super chat, Toya. They are who we thought they were. They are who we thought they were. Right? And that's not to be mean to all black women. I've been around some. My sister is one of the funniest. My younger sister is one of the funniest people I know. One of my girl cousins is one of the funniest people I know. When they get together, when my younger sister and my girl cousin get together, I'll be like, I can't help it. You just laughing. And yes, this is the younger sister that just graduated law school. They're like two of the funniest people I know, my younger sister and my cousin. So I've been around funny black women. These other women are losers, and they're corny and they're lame. They have the sensibilities of stuck-up white women. And it's all an act. It's all an act. Right? It's all an act. So that when I call them the lames, they're lame. You want to be an upper middle class black woman, right? Let me let this truck go. I see you, brother. I see you. I'm about to get in a whole damn street race with this F-350. Right? If y'all probably can't hear it, but every time I try to get past him, he starts pressing on the gas, and you know them F-350s got torque for days. Okay, I'm gonna just have to pass him. Sorry, brother. let me hurry up and do that before I get a ticket out here. On the wrong side of town to be speeding like this. Right? Back to our regularly scheduled programming. Yeah, no, these women are lame. They're lame. I'm not even gonna call them square, because Mr. Z is a square. I'm gonna call them a lame because that's what they are. Let the table break. Let the ship sink. Let the building collapse. Get your lame, jealous ass the hell up out of here. Oh, come on, squirrel. Come on. I almost dead a squirrel just now. Right? L7, exactly, Trell. L7s. I'm an L7. And I own it. I'm an L7. But these women are lames. I'm not calling May a lame. May, I don't think she's a lame. I think May is a wannabe elitist. Not even a truly elitist. A wannabe elitist. Right? I think Kim Foster's a true elitist. And women like May, women like Real Talk with Yanni, women like Chrissy are wannabes. There's the elitist, like Kim Foster. There's the almost kind of sortas, even if they have more money and more fame, like Ebony K. Williams. And then there's the wannabes, like Yanni, Chrissy, and May. And low-key, Cynthia G. That's why they advocate for eugenics and stuff like that. Because their rhetoric has to be even more crazy. Because they're wannabes. And if y'all listen to May talk, y'all heard it, right? For those of you that more recently that recently came into the room, y'all didn't hear that? Once Gigi kind of went that direction, You notice she didn't really push back because that's what she kind of agrees with it. We need to push the 80% that's not making us look good, push them off the edge of a cliff. Right? Of course the F-350 ended up in the same damn parking lot as I did. Of course. Right? You know what I like about turbo diesel trucks? Boy, that turbo be humming. Ooh, that turbo be humming. Right? Y'all couldn't break the table even if you wanted to. First of all, you don't actually mean it. And even if you did mean it, you still couldn't break it. Right? Pookie and Keisha are negotiating at the table. Could you let them negotiate in peace, please? Let the table break just because you can't get what you want. Everybody else is negotiating at the table. You want the table to break because whatever you want ain't working. Angry little bitter troll you. Let the table break. You know what I'm gonna do for y'all? I'm gonna see if I can memorize everything she said and say it again in this voice. Right? Let's see if Mr. Z can imitate this voice. And Indigo asks, Z, have you seen May's community tab? No, I have not. Right? No, I have not. Put her as a matter of fact, put her channel in the comments because I tried looking it up. I didn't really make a real effort, but I did put May the what is it? May the whatever her name is again. May the whatever because Gigi has it in his thing, but he didn't put it so that it could be a link to her channel because I think he might have put her name after. By the way, for those of you that don't know, we have to edit the name afterward. Well, at least Mr. Z has to edit the name afterward, right? And on YouTube Studios for you to be able to see the name and click it to lead to whoever I'm speaking about page. So I don't know if Gigi looked like he didn't do that. So when I tried to type in her name, it didn't. Okay, thank you. Okay, let me go to my YouTube channel. GC said, "What's the topic?" I'm kind of doing a twofer, which is a mixture of responding to May and Green Gorilla's conversation and also addressing BGS's recent video on his Black Gnostic channel, speaking about the young lady that said let the table break. Right? So I'm kind of doing a twofer, although I do want to speak about let the table break. I want to do kind of a single video addressing that because oh, look at her home screen. Okay, yeah. You said that community tab. Okay, I'm looking. Yeah. May the Alchemist. Okay, that's what it was. May the Alchemist. Yeah. Yeah, let's don't let friends be SBE. Boy, that pride, y'all. That pride, y'all. I don't want to have to explain nothing. I just want them to know. Okay, y'all. Once again, this goes back to looking weak, right? Looking weak. Shame, blame, and explain looks weak to these people, so they don't want to engage in it. And Mr. Z doesn't care about none of your damn insults. It's that simple. Mr. Z doesn't care nothing about any of your insults about how shame, blame, and explain looks weak. Right? I don't know. Like I said, um, these people are weird, but I really have to. I'm gonna really sit down, try to memorize what the young lady said, or at least different parts of it, um, and have my rebuttal in different points. But yeah, I think I'm kind of in the minority here by saying the table not is not going anywhere. And I'm not just saying that out of it's not hope or faith that's saying the table's not going anywhere. The table for different groups of people have existed since those people have existed. And as long as there's a black man and black woman in America, particularly ADOS FBA, the table will exist. Now it might only be one or two people at the table, um, but the table will exist. This young lady thinks she's saying something cute by saying let the table collapse or first let the building collapse. Let me say it how she said it. Let the table break. Let the ship sink, let the building collapse. Right? She thinks she's saying something. She's not. Right? As I said before, I saw the video already, but I didn't really know what to do with it. I know I wanted to respond to it. BGS beat me to the punch on that, but I didn't really know what else to do with it. What do you do with a person that 50 and 60 years later says let the table break? You left the table already. Would you doubling back to tell other black women to let the table break? These people really don't know their like black female history, do they? They don't know their black feminist and black female history, especially the stuff that's not necessarily written that you kind of had to be there or you because we have art new style and we have BGS and we have Black Uru and we have AL Evans and we have a bunch of brothers over the age of 50 that keep us informed of kind of the goings on and what was going on in the 80s, in the early 90s, in the late 70s. I don't know if are women talking to other women outside of just talking crap about black men? Because if they're not, then because they keep on talking like these things are new. Maybe they're new to the internet, but what you're advocating for and what you're saying is not new. Right? I encountered one woman when I was younger woman when I was on Shay Sade channel over a year ago. And we got into a back and forth, and she said, it's not that any of these things are new. She was the one woman that admitted none of this swirler divester stuff is new. Not like she did say she think it's going to be more impactful this time. Yawn, but she admitted that it's not new. All the rest of these women are speaking like they're saying something new and revolutionary. Right? You're not saying anything new or revolutionary. You're not. You're not pushing that. By the way, dear ladies, that's why your impact, there is no impact. I said it before. Y'all shut off all y'all nukes already. Because you're not aware. Your mothers and your grandmothers shut off all their nukes already. Do you realize y'all had panel? Let me say this again. You had whole entire lecture halls filled with black women talking crap about black men and talking about how they struggling to meet men and keep men. And you had Steve Harvey and and what's her face again? Shirley Shepard and them hosted it. You don't see that as a nuke. Not first of all, you tried to embarrass black men. Okay, let's say you did. Granted, let's say you did. You really didn't, but let's say you did. You don't realize how much you embarrassed yourself? You know how embarrassing that is? Y'all shot all y'all nukes already. Calling black men deadbeats, sperm donors, horrible husbands, horrible fathers, horrible baby fathers, horrible boyfriends. You shot all of your nukes already. On daytime talk shows, you shot all of your nukes already. Segments on CNN, on ABC, talking about how black women are struggling to meet their right, black male counterpart. You shot all your nukes already. Movie after movie after movie. From The Color Purple to Waiting to Excel, y'all literally had a movie with every damn negative characteristic a man could have. Y'all had a black man that represented that. The secretly DL guy, the womanizer, the one that's gonna leave you for the white woman, the literal Tyrone. Over a fire ass soundtrack though. That Waiting to Excel soundtrack was fire. You shot all your nukes already. Full color girls, you shot all your nukes already, ladies. That's why your impact isn't. White people are tired of hearing it. Let's be clear. White folk, I said it, mark my words. Let me say it again. I need to say it every once in a while. Don't be surprised if we get to the point, and it's going to happen, where you're going to see a Richard Reeves on one end, or a Scott Galloway on one end, or even a white woman on one end, and an angry, bitter sister on the other end. And the black women is going to be speaking about how horrible black men are. And believe it or not, the white person is going to look like they're defending black men. Mark my words, you're going to see it. Mark my words, you're going to see a world where a black woman is railing against black men and a white woman is checking her ass. It's not something I'm wishing is going to happen. It's something I foresee. I think there are black women that are that incensed and angry that they're going to tell the white woman, you don't get it because they treat you better and they treat you different. And the white woman is going to check her ass. I don't know how. It might be one of those, you just mad because you ain't me. Right? Or you might be right away, but I see it. Because I think we live in a topsy-turvy world where that's definitely a possibility. And Kevin Cook says, because he got all these emojis up, it definitely caught my attention. And he says, "What up, y'all? Okay, what up, y'all? They have no choice when most of the money bags have taken a flight for peace and appreciation, bruh. They think they could do the same thing. It's not the same. Look, it's just that simple. Look, we're not talking about all black women, particularly in this, because that young lady that says let the table break, she don't represent all black women. Especially on some lame stuff. Like yawn. And May definitely doesn't, because May is speaking on some elitist, and that's why she kept on saying, I believe in separation. So May don't represent all black women either. Or most. This fake ass elitist thing is not a thing, right? So we're watching them engage in this, and I don't see this as being fruitful. I don't think this has this hurts black women more than it hurts black men. Because as I said before, for those of you that didn't hear me earlier, the whole project, especially, according to Obsidian and how BGS reiterated it, was to get black women back at the table. That was the whole project of the Black Manosphere. It's to get black women back to the table. How you gonna break a table you not even at? Wait a minute, wait. You want to break the table, you're not even here. Let the table break. I get, you know what? Good point. She's telling other black women to let the table break because her and her cohort of black women are not even at the damn table. Right? These other black women ain't listening to you. They want black men. You go find a little white mythical magical white man and the Latino man that you think is gonna make your life better. But other black women are over here horse trading. Right? Other black women are over here negotiating, especially the ones that could feel the impending doom of the economy lingering, the ones that could see the storm clouds coming over. All the rest of you are in your pride. You ain't paying attention to the storm clouds, the hurricane force winds that's coming. If I could find it, if anybody, please, if somebody could find this clip for me. I've been searching for it since I first saw it, and I found it, and I don't know where the hell it is anymore. There's a clip. It's on the OWN network, or it was on the OWN network, and it was during COVID, and it was of a bunch of women speaking on how they're dealing with COVID, and it was a younger chocolate sister. I want to say she had braids, but I don't remember. It was a younger chocolate sister that was speaking, and she was speaking about how she's in her apartment by herself, and she kind of, you can hear in her voice, she kind of lamented not having anyone, and she said she has all her emergency contact, excuse me, all of her neighbors, I guess, in her apartment complex has her emergency contact for her family and stuff, so that's if something happened to her, they could contact, you know, a family member and whatever. And she was quarantining in place in her apartment by herself. And it was kind of sad listening to her say that because she wasn't an ugly woman. And you ever hear somebody in their delivery and you're like, oh yeah, you a lot to deal with. I could tell off of your delivery. Ugh. Right? If anyone could find that, it was on the OWN network and it was during COVID. D. Scott said, I told you, they can't break it. They got to twerk on it. Now, that's definitely true. Right? But that is what we're going to have. We're going to have a bunch of single, lonely black women who occasionally get piped down by white man, black man, Latino man. It don't matter. Right? But I agree with BGS for the brothers that are going to take flight. You take flight. Right? I'm not even going to call it passport bros anymore. I'm going to just say take flight. For those of you that's going to take flight, take flight. For those of you that are going to be SYSBM and maybe end up with a black woman, maybe not, then do that. But yeah, the whole let the table break thing. I know she thought she was eating with that. I know she thought she said something, especially the way she delivered it. Right? You know when you think you saying something, you saying it so affirmative. Right? But you're not saying nothing. Right? Ladies, let the table break. Let the ship sink. Let the building collapse. Yawn. Oh, you think you're saying something. Gotta start asking. So how's this supposed to work for black women? Right? Y'all remember when I pressed May on the breakdown about that, and she pretty much said, well, but you know, I don't think that all people should be married anyway. Once again, that's the elitist talk, and I believe that not all people should be married. Majority of people. When you hear May say that or other black women say that, they're saying the majority of people shouldn't be married because you don't have no money. Exactly, Indigo. They be swearing they cooking. I promise you, they think they saying something, right? And that was her low level of sass, right? Let the table break, right? Brothers, I'm gonna just let y'all know right now. I'm a front of like I'm posted. I'm listening. I'm not listening. I'm talking right now, but I'm posted a front of a Smoothie King. I'm about to go in a little bit, and there's like this kind of gym next to it, and there's a Starbucks next to it, and yeah. So see, nobody could tell me about black women when they're in shape, bro. Nobody got anything on black women when they're in shape. When they're in shape, nobody got anything on them. That's when you could call yourself truly a MILF. That's when you could really, you know, when they're in shape, ain't nobody got nothing on them. Emphasis on win, right? I just wanted to let y'all know the kind of the plaza that the environment that I'm in front of right now, so y'all can imagine the leggings and the workout uniforms that I'm watching pass by, and get an idea of the eye candy, right? D Scott, I'm not even gonna read it out loud. I'm gonna just let that be. Y'all go ahead and take a glance at your screen. I'm about to take it off in another 5 seconds. Right? Let the table break. Y'all wouldn't know what to do with yourselves. If and if we gotta go to the base form, because sometimes I think it's needed. Y'all could say that's all y'all are. Whatever. If we retracted the phallus, right? If we retracted the re, y'all be on suicide watch. Let the table break. Get your lame ass out of here. Right? Man. So that's all that's all it is. Like I'm like I said, I'm gonna do a dedicated video to that. I might rehash some of the things I said just now, but it's important because that let the table break thing, that really did mess with me. I'm not, not to lie to any of you, because it's like, let the table break. Y'all been gone for 60 years. What you talking about? Wait, let the table break? You're not even here. What you mean let the table break? Let the table break. Let the ship sink. You torched the social contract because you thought you was gonna be what? White men's mistress? Right? So wait, you thought you was gonna be, so white men were gonna marry white, you didn't think white men were gonna marry you. Wait, did you? So you thought what? White men were gonna marry white women, and then you was gonna be what? The mistress, and you was still gonna be getting resources and stuff. That's what you thought? And it didn't work that way. And so now you throwing a fit, and I'm talking about individual women like her. Now you throwing a fit. Chrissy been out here swirling for how goddamn long? Still don't got no damn relationship with no non-black man. Yanni over here telling you decenter men. Trying to find weirdo excuses. But see, this is why I don't want to have kids. No way. All in her pride. Yanni, where the hell is your brother? To Yanni's brother and to her father, bruh, I get it. Yanni making good YouTube money. Could y'all do something with her, please? Like for real. Like I fear for her. D Scott's and Haitian smoothie calf. We have like there is Haitian smoothies. I'm just way too far from like the Haitian part of town, right? Well, yeah, I'm way too far from the Haitian part of town in both counties, right? And both it would be too far out the way in where I am, right? But yeah, so you have, you know, Yanni telling you decenter men doing her celibate thing. Nothing wrong with that. But you can see she's telling, I'm not going back to that dark place. Yanni, you already in the dark place right now. You're in a different type of dark place, but you're in a dark place right now, Yanni. Your subscribers ain't gonna tell you that. Yanni, you're in a dark place right now. That's why you sound the way you do. That's why I keep on bringing it up. You have the money. You live in okay, comfortable. That's when you say, what's the incentive? I want to be a kept woman of leisure. What you're saying is, well, I have all of this other stuff. All I'm missing is the man, and you're throwing a fit all over the internet. You're in the dark place right now. It's funny listening to her say, I don't want to go back to that dark place. You're in a dark, maybe you're not in the same dark place as when you got your little heart broken by whatever dude, but you're in a dark place right now. That's why you sound the way you do. Chrissy is in a dark place also. I'm in my luxury apartment alone, but I'm in my dark place. These are the people that what are supposed to break the table. Let the table break, man. If y'all don't get y'all lame asses, how Cynthia G sound? Selective mating. Let the table break, right? Y'all weak asses. I don't even know if y'all can climb up on the table. Soft ass. Right? Let the table break. Yes, Toya, I'm gonna continue to call these women lames. They are lame. Right? Let the table break. let the table break. With what? The Khadijas and the Kim Fosters running around here? The Chrissies and the Yannies? Yeah, that's it. The Lexus Exoduses? Those are the people that's gonna let the table break? Let the table break. With May, right? Let the table break. What, Shira 7? Sprinkle, let the table break. With Crystal and Kerosene, let the table break. Thank you, Michael Ross. My point exactly. Weirdo broads. We got a woman that waged the entire. She's the jump off of this stuff on the internet. I was gonna say shit, but remember we're in Friday, payday Friday. We using profanity. She's the jump off for a lot of this weirdo shit on the internet. Through a goddamn fit that she tried to baby trap her baby daddy and didn't work. She gonna marry the squarest white man on the planet. He got her on the internet ranting and raving about black men for damn near 20 years. And they still get divorced. Yes, the black woman talking about how great white men are and how horrible black men are got divorced from the white man. Shout out to you, Crystal and Kerosene. Let the table break. Surprised you weirdos even know what a table is. Let the table break. You imagine being among some of the poorest people in the country threatening to let a table break? Right? Being among some of the poorest people, a wealth of $5, and you turn around talking about let a table break. Student loan debt out the yin yang talking about let the table break. Looking real scared during COVID because you was gonna have to go in there and elbow and go fisticuffs with some men with no protection for some toilet paper, talking about let the table break. These people are insane. We're not even a good 2 seconds out of COVID. They talking about let the table break. The same people that was looking super scared in them grocery stores with no man next to them, talking about let the table break. Let the table break. It's loser talk. Let the ship sink. I said it, shout out to Jeff Brown. I said it, they'll shoot a hole in a boat, knowing that they can't swim, hoping that you can't swim. let the table break, right? Let the ship sink. Let the building collapse. Problem, ladies, black women, you're in the building. Let the building collapse. Wait a minute. You're in the building, though. Oh. Thought she was saying something. She thought she was saying something. Right? Play Bigsby hysterical. Says, let the table break. Okay, what's this about? Check out BGS's, and I didn't put the link in here. I don't know why. Because you know why I didn't put the link? Because I wasn't originally talking about this. That's why. BGS on his Black Gnostic channel, speaking about, and actually played a young lady. Shout out to Dr. Ron O'Neill, who pretty much said, let the table break. The negotiating table between men and women, black women need to let the table break. Excuse me, said that wrong. The negotiating table between black men and black women need to let the table break. Let the ship sink, let the building collapse. Right? I originally was speaking about May and Green Gorilla's conversation, where May once again kept on over talking Green Gorilla. And remember, this is a teacher, y'all, or at least used to be a teacher, showing an extreme lack of discipline, right? Trying to do the both and thing. Well, you know, the materialism of men and women. Nope. The materialism of women. Y'all let a handful of black entertainers and a couple of dudes in the hood make y'all think that black men are materialistic like black women. It's not the same thing. Once again, black men are in less debt. Black men are in less credit card debt. Black men have higher credit scores. Black men have more in savings, etc., 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 etc. No, it is not the same, May, at all. Well, you know, we were watching Cribs and we were watching, yeah, the difference is black men understood it was entertainment. Black women thought it was life. Black men are not the ones demanding $1 million lifestyles. I said it earlier. Let me say it again, and I'm gonna end up. What we saw with Kevin Samuels is that black women were saying six figures, and shout out to the Roger Report because he's 100% right about this. Black women are saying six figures, but they're really describing $1 million lifestyle. When you put a price tag on what they're talking about a man that's earning $250,000 plus a year, that has $1 million plus save in savings, so he has $1 million plus liquid, and they're living in a not a $1 million plus home, right? And Clay Bigsby, Toya put the link right here for the video that I was referencing earlier. Thank you, Indigo. And speaking of cribs, shout out to Redman, because Redman was the one person that kept it real. Right? So that's all. She tried to do the men too, but she said it already. She said it to me, and now she said it to Gigi. She don't think that all black people should get married or all black people should really have children, and that we should just leave the people that we think are not on all. We should just leave them by the wayside. You know I'm laughing. It's not only what you said, Black Uru, it's the way you said it. And Black Uru says it, and thank you for being here, Black Uru. May is not nearly as smart as she. Oh, wait a minute, the comic team, I'll move it up. May is not nearly as smart as she has been able to trick people into believing herself to be. Oh, man. Look, if you get to have a conversation with Green Gorilla one-on-one, and you're loud talking him, and he's trying to paint the picture for you and put black people's current position in context of history, and you continue to tell him, oh, I don't want to hear about 18 something, I don't want to hear about 17 something. See, I know you're using the history to be victims. And imagine speaking to a philosopher, a legit doctorate in philosophy, and telling them you don't want to hear the history. Imagine standing up for the Aristotle and be like, man, to hell what you talking about. Imagine standing up for the Socrates or Imhotep or name them. Right? Plato, and imagine being like, meh. Oh, their arrogance knows no bounds. But I said it earlier, she's a black woman, so you know, Green Gorilla and his PhD in philosophy and her being a black woman, I mean, it's even Steven, right? It's the same thing. She came out the womb X chromosome, and Green Gorilla spent years in school, pouring over and writing papers and memorizing, and so him and her are on the same level. Yes, I understand she has a college degree also, yes, whatever, but Green Gorilla is a PhD, but he's still a black man, though. I mean, black man with a PhD is equivalent to like a black female toddler, right? I mean, that's the same thing. A black little girl and a black man with a PhD. That's you know, May's still a black woman, so she trumps him on just that alone. Right? Imagine speaking to a PhD in philosophy and trying to shrug off what they're telling you about history. Imagine that. You're shrugging off what not even shrugging off. It's actually worse than that. You're telling him you don't want to hear it. Wow. I agree with this, Black Guru. I agree with this 100%. It's an insult to this space for May to be able to exclusively speak to Gigi and BGS as if she is at their level. Exactly, as if she's at their level. I didn't exclusively speak to BGS until like what, a couple months ago? I've been in this space for what? I've made myself known in this space for what, 3, 4 years now? I didn't exclusively speak to BGS until a couple months ago. And that was on purpose on my part. And what exactly is May offering? Gigi gave her a chance to speak last week. He gave her a chance to speak this time again this week. And what did she say exactly? What did she say? She's not proposing anything. It's the same. Oh, y'all sound like victims. This is victim mentality talk. Yawn. I see nothing but black men winning around me. I really despise this weirdo elitist talk that I see black people in particular engage in. Right? This, well, I made it, we can all make it. Then you look over their life and you're like, I don't know if that's exactly making it the way you described, number one. But even if you did, that's not how this works. It's called tokenism. Right? And so, okay, fine. You're winning and your circle is winning. Fine. Okay, we'll own that. You are winning and your circle is winning. What about the masses of black people? Mr. Donnie Mac. And Mr. Donnie Mac says, May is a bootstrap bell. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's funny. Right? True indeed. When Black Rose says, that's the privilege of being a black woman. How they can just casually get access to shit they did not earn or deserve. The word deserve, exactly. And then, excuse me, and then black men are expected to respect their nonsense. Yes. Yes, Black Rose. Yes. She came out the womb XX chromosome, sir. That means she came out the womb with the scepter and the crown, right? She came out the womb as the queen. You had to earn it and you never did. Right? Yeah, that's how May that's excuse me, that's how May and many other black women speak. We're doing the work, right? We've done the work. Right? What was that term that you used earlier, Indigo, that they use all the time that you said you're tired of hearing? Was that you, Indigo, or was that D Scott that said something about a term that they use all the time that you're just tired of hearing, which I agreed with. Yeah, no, Trell, for real though. Fuck your degrees, you still a nigga. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, show up, exactly, Indigo. Show, yeah, we show up. We show up for black men. We do the work. We've done the work. Right. And Big Kev says the problem with the elitist Negroes is that they devolve into the very whiny, overgrown children and token Negroes that they claim to hate in other so-called black people. Exactly. Exactly. Right. Aren't I a human? Parentheses of it a human. Yeah. Yeah, but Trell, but you're black though. See, I get what you say with the hue and human part, but you're black, right? And you're a black man. Oh boy, right? I can't do the stink meter voice. Better you says you gotta read Trell's last comment in the stink meter voice. I can't do the stink meter. I wish I could. That would be hysterical, right? On that note, you guys, Mr. Z has to head out, right? Gotta do boyfriend stuff. So what we'll do is we'll end it out here. I'm gonna return to review that video that BGS put out on his Black Gnostic channel with the young lady talking about let the table break. Yawn. And so we'll end out right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Excuse me, not even the super chat. I'm about to end out. Y'all like, share, subscribe. Maybe hit the thank you button. And yeah, we will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content. That's what I was trying to say. And other non-Manosphere content. I think Dr. Green Gorilla is gonna stream. Right. I said not Dr. Green Gorilla. Dr. Thunder is gonna stream. And I think it's a really good topic actually. So y'all go check out Dr. Thunder. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. And so we'll end it out there. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Thanks for rolling with me this Friday. And we've been here for a minute. We're here for almost 3 hours. All right, everybody. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Mr. Z out.